What if everything you've ever criticized about yourself wasn't actually your own thought, but voices from your past that you've been carrying around without realizing it? This is a story about a breakthrough that happened in a therapist's office, one that reveals why so many of us struggle with feeling attractive and how to break free from that cycle forever. Emma Rodriguez thought she was going crazy when she started hearing multiple voices in her head, until her therapist explained she was actually going sane for the first time in decades. Dr. Sarah Chen looked over the new patient information before her 1 p.m. appointment. The handwriting was careful, precise, the kind that suggested someone who paid attention to how things appeared to others. Patient: Emma Rodriguez, 29, social media manager. Presenting issue: I'm obsessed with how I look and it's ruining my life. I'm depressed, I can't focus at work, and I'm pushing people away because I'm so consumed with my appearance. Emma entered with the practiced smile of someone who had learned early that pleasantness was protection. As she settled into the chair, Sarah noticed how she immediately adjusted her posture, smoothed her hair, and glanced toward the window as if checking her reflection. "What brings you here today?" Sarah asked gently. Emma's composure cracked. "I spend a great part of every day obsessing over my appearance. I'm constantly checking mirrors, comparing myself to strangers, staring at photos until I can't even see myself anymore. I'm exhausted from being trapped in this cycle. It's making me so depressed I can barely function." Over the next few weeks, their sessions began to reveal the intricate patterns of Emma's self-criticism. It was like watching someone navigate by a broken compass that had become so familiar, questioning its accuracy seemed impossible. "I was in a client presentation yesterday," Emma said during their third meeting. 10 people in the room, and I spent the entire time wondering if my blouse looked unprofessional instead of listening to the client's vision. What was it like to compare yourself to others in that room? Automatic. I see another woman and immediately catalog. Her skin looks clearer, her confidence seems more natural. It happens before I can stop it. Has it always been this way? I think so. I can't remember not doing it. During their 6th session, Sarah tried something different. Close your eyes and think back to your earliest memory of feeling like something was wrong with you, not necessarily about appearance, but about who you are. Emma's face tightened with concentration. "I'm maybe 6, and I just got picked to be line leader at school. I'm so excited, bouncing around the kitchen telling my mom." She stops cooking and turns to me with this tired look. "Emma, you're being too much right now. Can you just tone it down? Not everything needs to be such a big production." I remember shrinking into myself, wondering what was wrong with feeling happy. The floodgates opened. Emma recalled being 8, reading quietly at a family barbecue while cousins played. Her father said, "What's wrong with you, Emma? Why can't you be more social like your sister? You're always so withdrawn." She remembered being 10, asking her mother about the sky, clouds, rain during a car ride, until her mother snapped, "Emma, enough questions. You exhaust me with all this curiosity. Can't you just sit quietly like a normal child?" Another memory. Crying at 9 because their neighbor's cat died. Her father said, "You're too sensitive, Emma. You can't cry about everything. Your sister doesn't fall apart over every little thing." The message was always that who I naturally was, curious, sensitive, excited about things, was wrong somehow, Emma said through tears. Too much or not enough, but never just right. How do you think this connects to your appearance struggles? Emma was quiet. If who I am inside was always wrong, maybe I believed I could fix myself by controlling how I looked outside. Like if I could get my appearance right, I could finally be acceptable. During their 10th session, something shifted. "I had the strangest experience," Emma said. "I was criticizing myself in the bathroom mirror when I suddenly heard my mother's voice. Not metaphorically. I literally heard her saying, "Emma, you're being too much again." I was alone. It was my voice, but her words, her exhaustion with me. Emma paused. I started paying attention and realized almost everything I criticize about myself, appearance, personality, everything, are things other people said to me first. Emma began identifying whose voice was behind each critical thought. Her mother's impatience became Emma's belief she was too much. Her father's criticism of sensitivity became her shame about feeling deeply. Every time you catch yourself in self-criticism this week, Sarah said, ask 3 questions. Whose voice is this? Where did I learn this belief? Is this actually true about who I am? Emma returned with a notebook full of observations. Tuesday. I'm being too sensitive about feedback. That's my father. Wednesday. I asked too many questions in the meeting. That's my mother being exhausted by my curiosity. When I really examined these beliefs, these aren't character flaws. They're just who I am. I'm naturally curious. I feel deeply. I get excited about things I care about. There's nothing wrong with any of that. She described a breakthrough moment standing in her bedroom mirror. I caught myself criticizing my appearance and suddenly asked, what am I really criticizing here? My looks or myself? I realized I've been using appearance obsession to continue believing something's fundamentally wrong with me. The transformation wasn't dramatic, but it was profound. Emma learned to recognize inherited voices versus her authentic thoughts. I was in an elevator with a woman who looked like she stepped out of a magazine, Emma said during a later session. Instead of spending the day feeling terrible, I asked, whose voice is telling me I need to look like her? What is this really about? I realized it wasn't about appearance. It was about that old belief that who I am isn't acceptable, so I must need to be someone else entirely. Sarah noticed Emma's entire presence had changed. She seemed comfortable being herself, asking questions when curious, showing excitement about projects, feeling things deeply without apologizing. During their final session 6 months later, Emma entered with genuine ease. I need to tell you about my family gathering last weekend. My cousin was discussing her business idea, and I found myself asking lots of questions because I was interested. The old me would have worried I was being too much. But I just let myself be curious. My questions actually helped her think through important aspects of her plan. My natural curiosity was valuable, not annoying. Later, I saw myself in the bathroom mirror and didn't immediately scan for flaws. I just saw someone who had been fully present and authentically herself all evening. Someone who was enough, just as she was. What made the difference? Sarah asked. Emma considered carefully. Realizing that the voice telling me something was wrong, whether about appearance or personality, was never mine. It was inherited criticism from people who couldn't accept their own authentic selves. I'm not at war with myself anymore. I'm not trying to be someone else to earn acceptance. It's like I finally learned to speak in my own voice instead of everyone else's. And how does that feel? Like coming home to myself, Emma said. Like finally meeting who I was before the world told me who I should be. Emma had discovered that who she was had always been enough, and in doing so, she had found a kind of attractiveness that no external modification could provide, the magnetic beauty of someone who has made peace with their authentic self exactly as they are.